What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about the brand new head from ECD. This is the ECD DNA LMNOP. A lot of letters. This head's sick. Let's go. Alright guys, before we start, I just want to talk about these lights. These are Lax lights from Blackfeet Lacrosse. There's a desk lamp here. There's a little short one up here with the blue light. And then over here's the floor lamp. These are very cool. You know, if you're looking to decorate your man cave or your dorm room or whatever, your office, these are cool. Like if you're, you got a little Lax theme going on, your old college helmets and stuff like that. These things, definitely look into them. Go to blackfeetlacrosse.com. Good stuff. He sent me over 3 and they're all cool. Like if I were to pick one, I don't know, I think probably the desk lamp would be my favorite, but if your wife or your girlfriend gives you a room, you can go nuts. But my wife thinks these are cool too, so we're going to find a place for these in the house. I mean, maybe they'll stay here. I don't know, this is kind of cool. Actually, I might leave the blue one right up there. That looks pretty neat. Anyway, if it were yellow and it was a bulb right above my head, it would look like I had a good idea. Bing! Alright, go check out Blackfeet Lacrosse. Buy a couple Lax lamps, they're cool. Alright guys, on to the ECD DNA. So, this head came out, I don't know, what, a week and a half ago, something like that. And this is cool. The nylon polymer that's been a real staple in lacrosse heads for the past 30 years. It's gone through some changes and companies have done different things. ECD stumbled upon this material. I shouldn't say stumbled. Like they just, walking down the alley, hey, what's that? They developed this material or worked with someone to develop, I don't know the details. It's called FlexForm, and initially it was developed for their Weapon X because it's very resistant to warpage. It snaps back into place. Just like you saw with the Weapon X, all the abuse that thing can take in my last video and other people's videos, and it comes back to form. The guys at ECD realized, well, warping in heads is a problem beyond just face-offs. So they set about to use that FlexForm material in regular heads. And this is the first one, and it is the DNA, and it's kind of just a completely versatile head. You can play with this head anywhere on the field, except for goalie. It's $89.99 and 6 ounces. So it's slightly heavier than most offensive heads, but slightly, not that it's going to make a difference. It won't. The position I would recommend it for most, I would say, is LSM. Close defense, attack, midi, you can use it anywhere. It's got a nice face shape. The face shape is very similar to the Rebel offense. The scoop is similar to the Rebel offense, too. It's that rounded scoop, which is fantastic. One of the best scoops in the game. I love it. And what's interesting, though, is that that's kind of about where it ends. A lot of stringing holes, easy to string. Will take any kind of pocket. It's not overly aggressive on the bottom rail, so you can put your pocket anywhere you like, and string it any way you like. It's super forgiving, for stringing. You're going to be able to put a good pocket in this, even if you're a mediocre stringer. When I first saw it, I was like, wait a minute, they're talking about this head. I saw pictures of it. This head that won't warp, and they gave it one strut. I mean, that's a pretty bold move, Cotton. But, with this material, it only needs one strut. I didn't even realize it yesterday. I took it out for the first time yesterday to our first practice of the summer, and it was so hot. It was the hottest practice I remember, and we've had hundreds of 100-degree plus practices. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be as hot as it was. I didn't drink enough water. I felt loopy. My kid was barfing in the garbage can. Other kids were like, Coach, I don't feel good. I'm like, yeah, pop the bucket, go get water. It was scary hot. It was over 100 degrees. And then, on the turf, they say, I don't know who they is, but I've heard it's 10 degrees hotter on turf because of all the black turf pellets and whatever. The sun just is drawn to it. So, 110, felt like 110. It was hot. I was not feeling good. Like today I'm drinking a lot of water because I got practice in a couple hours and I want to be ready. Although out here I'm sweating. So anyway, about halfway through the practice I realized, oh, wait a minute. This is what this head is designed for. And so I started squeezing it, thinking, normally heads in 100+ degree weather are just spongy and, they just feel bad. This thing felt this stiff. No different than, what is it? It's probably 80 degrees in here, So 100 to 110 degrees was fine. And then I started feeling other kids' sticks. I'm like, hey, let me see, squeezing sticks and just mushy, gross things. I'm like, this is for real. This is the real deal. This thing is not affected by heat. If you guys have seen the videos that ECD did talking about the abuse that they put this thing through, the Thor basher thing that bashed it hundreds of times and it came out looking perfect. And they did it against I think they did it against a Rebel offense. The first picture I saw was they had matched it up against a String King head, and after X number of bashes, the String King was like this, the DNA was straight up. Then I think they realized they didn't want to start a bunch of beef with other companies, so they were just testing against their own heads. And so I think it was a Rebel offense. It showed just sideways after hundreds of bashes, and this is just straight up. So, I love the Rebel offense. My kid uses the Rebel offense. He switched from the Mirage this past season. He's actually using the graphene one, which he just loves it. And I haven't had any problem with warpage in heat, but I'm also just rolling out ground balls and doing coach stuff. But a lot of players I know, have had a lot of problems with a lot of different heads from a lot of different manufacturers warping in heat. It just happens. And you go to a tournament, you leave your stick in the car for any period of time, or it's just out in the baking sun. If you then go play with it and throw a hard poke check, and it just folds over on itself, it's probably done. We were at a tournament where my kid took out as a new stick that he was going to try out, and he left his current stick, his stick that he loved, in the car, and it was leaned up against the opposite door with a bag kind of down here, just putting a little bit of pressure on it. Not a lot, not even enough to bend it, but over a few hours in what's it get in a car, 100 outside, probably 130 in the car. We came back and it was just like bloop, just bent like this. I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry, dude, we'll fix it. And we straightened it back, and it was just never the same. The back rail warped inward, and it was done. And then so this, last night in the heat, and then we stopped for food, and I left it right. I pulled it from the back seat right up onto the dashboard in direct sunlight. And probably after a half hour, we came back, and I'm like, okay, I feel that it's warmer. I feel that it's a little less stiff, but you bend it, and it would just snap right back. It's very stiff, and it's not going to warp, and that's a huge thing, especially in these hotter states, California, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Florida. These states get a lot of heat, and lacrosse heads suffer because of it. Some things, like I said, it's got the same face shape as the Rebel O, same scoop. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it's very similar. A lot of stringing holes. The throat is different. The throat I love. So it feels like it's ergonomically designed for going one-handed. I asked my kid, I was like, hey, try this. He's like, yeah, that feels nice. I'm like, would you want this? You want me to set this up for you? He's like, no, I don't choke up that far. I'm like, what do you mean? So when he one-hands it, he's down below the head, like he's facing off. I'm like, you're allowed to grab the head. He's like, yeah, I just don't. Whatever. I was like, would you with this? He goes, yeah, that feels pretty good. And I didn't tell him this, but when you one hand higher, it's easier to thumb the ball. I'm not telling you to cheat, but I was a D-midi, and I cleared the ball a lot, just punt return clears, because I could run, could dodge in the open field, could shake guys, but, I wasn't the greatest ball handler or anything, but, I definitely carried on the plastic with the thumb on the ball. You know, if you get, back then gloves weren't white. We didn't have, I don't think there were any white gloves way back then, in the mid 90s. But today, if you have a white head strung with all white and white gloves, you take a little bit of white athletic tape and you cover up the black gusset part of the glove, and if the palm is a different color, there's a little bit of white tape around the thumb. So you've got white head, white mesh, white ball, white thumb. It's really easy to thumb. But don't do that, it's cheating. Cheating's wrong. You're a terrible person for even thinking about it. So yeah, one-handed on this head it feels awesome. Even with gloves on, you feel that your hand just kind of molds into that shape of that throat. It's sweet. The whole head is smooth. It's like it went overboard and was washed around in the sand and the rocks for a few years and kind of got all rounded off like sea glass, or nice smooth pebbles or driftwood. It gets all smooth. That probably didn't happen. That's probably not a part of their manufacturing process, but I don't know. But yeah, it's really, it feels good. It's like, I don't have any scratches on it yet. I just had it out yesterday on turf, so there's no battle damage. I put it on this Carbon Pro 2.0 with a Talon ball and claw butt end. I don't know if you guys remember Talon. Talon was awesome. Blake and Court Kim, they eventually sold Talon to Easton and then ran the lacrosse division at Easton. But when Easton shelved the whole lacrosse thing, all the IP stayed with Easton, and the Kims can't get to it, which is kind of a bummer. I talked to them a few years ago at a Firehawks Warriors game, I think. They coached the Firehawks out on the peninsula. These things are sick. This is the sickest butt end ever in lacrosse. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's like the old furniture, the ball and claw. Like when I grew up, we had a kitchen table with a ball and claw legs. It was just so sick. I'd lay under the table. I was like a 5-year-old and just look at the detail on this claw on a ball. I thought it was rad. So naturally, it's my favorite butt end. But this thing is all black on black on black on black on black, except for here. And so it absorbs heat, man. This thing was hot yesterday in the sun. And like I said, it's fine. So yeah, anywhere on the field, any position can play with this. LSMs, LSMs are changing. LSMs are staying on and playing a little bit of offense. It's a narrower head than most defenders are used to. And defensive heads are big for a couple of reasons, or they're probably big for just one reason, but it benefits kids for a multitude of reasons, for at least 2 reasons anyway. Being wider, being bigger, it's easier to catch. And, historically, poles don't have stick skills quite like their short stick counterparts. That's changing. You're seeing a lot more poles stay on and play some offense, especially LSMs. But it's also, to make catching easier, it's also good for knocking down passes. If you got your stick up and in the passing lane, a little bit of extra width on either side will help you knock them down. But, if you've got good eye-hand coordination, whatever, a 1/4 of an inch on either side, or whatever, however bigger the wider defensive heads are, that's not going to matter. You're going to be able to knock those down or pick them off. And the modern LSM, like I said, is playing some offense. The modern pole, when they clear it, if they've got some offensive IQ and they've got some stick skills, stay on, pass it around a little bit, see if you can get a give and go, because the attackmen are looking for you, because you give it to them often on clears and set them up and assist them. So if you are carrying as a pole and you dish it low to an attackman and keep heading to the cage, he's going to see you. That's what I tell my guys all the time. If you want it back, be moving right after you passed it, because the guy who receives your pass is still looking this way, and as he catches it, he's going to see you. Oh my God, right there. That give and go it's money. I hate that I said that. It's very good. So yeah, poles, if you're not scared to get it back and take a rip, pass it and break to the cage, especially if you see the back of that guy's helmet. All right, guys, go check out the ECD DNA. It's for real. It can withstand some serious heat. It can withstand some serious checks. I mean, I'm guessing how stiff it is. All right, good stuff, ECD. Very cool. I'm glad that you are still innovating, still doing big things. I'm excited by this, and you guys should be too. It's a cool head, and it has addressed a need and a problem in the lacrosse world, and as far as I can tell, it's addressed it well. It's high quality, good stuff. It's going to solve a problem. All right, guys, I am going to go drink a bunch of water and get ready for this crazy hot practice tonight. I will see you next video.
I can hear the silence.